The Witcher is a fantasy drama television series created by Lauren Schmidt Hissrich for Netflix. It is based on the book series of the same name by Polish writer Andrzej Sapkowski. Set on a fictional, medieval-inspired landmass known as the Continent, The Witcher explores the legend of Geralt of Rivia, Yennefer of Vengerberg and Princess Ciri. It stars Henry Cavill, Anya Chalotra, and Freya Allan. The first season, consisting of 8 episodes, was released on Netflix on December 20, 2019. It was based on The Last Wish and Sword of Destiny, which are collections of short stories that precede the main The Witcher saga. The second season, also consisting of 8 episodes and based on the novel Blood of Elves, released on December 17, 2021. In September 2021, Netflix renewed the series for a third season, which will be released in mid-2023. The season will be followed by a fourth season, featuring Liam Hemsworth taking over the role of Geralt from Cavill. An animated origin story film, The Witcher: Nightmare of the Wolf, was released on August 23, 2021. A prequel miniseries, The Witcher: Blood Origin, will release on December 25, 2022. Synopsis. The story begins with Geralt of Rivia, Crown Princess Ciri of Sintra, and the sorceress Yennefer of Vengerberg at different points of time, exploring formative events that shape their characters throughout the first season, before eventually merging into a single timeline. Geralt and Ciri are linked by destiny since before she was born, when he unknowingly demanded her as a reward for his services by invoking the Law of Surprise. After the two finally meet, Geralt becomes the princess's protector and must help her and fight against her various pursuers to prevent her elder blood and powerful magic from being used for malevolent purposes and keep Ciri and their world safe. Cast and characters. Main. Henry Cavill, Liam Hemsworth as Geralt of Rivia, a magically enhanced monster hunter known as a Witcher. Cintran Princess Ciri is his destiny. Anya Chalotra as Yennefer of Vengerberg, a quarter-elf sorceress. Freya Allan as Ciri, Cyrilla Fiona Elin Ryanen, the Crown Princess of Sintra, granddaughter of Queen Callanth and daughter of Pavita, from whom she inherited the Elder Blood. She is linked to Geralt by destiny. Eamon Farron as Cahir Mar Dyffrynnaep Seal Latch, nicknamed the Black Knight, a Nilfgaardian army commander who leads the invasion of Sintra and the hunt for Cyrilla. Joey Beatty as Jaskier, a traveling bard who befriends Geralt and accompanies him on his path. Mayanna Buring as Tissaia de Vries, mentor to Yennefer and the Rectrix of Aretuza, a training academy for female mages. Mimi Mkesa as Fringilla Vigo, a sorceress who trained alongside Yennefer. She eventually leads the Nilfgaardian invasion alongside Cahir. Anna Schaefer as Triss Marigold, a sorceress, the court mage of Temeria and advisor to King Foltest. Royce Pearson as Istrid, an adept sorcerer and historian who befriends Yennefer at Aretuza. Wilson Bomeo as Dara, a refugee elf boy whom Cyrilla befriends after the slaughter of Sintra. Mahesh Jaddu as Vilji Forts of Rogveen, a charismatic sorcerer who rallies the northern mages to halt the invading Nilfgaardian army in Sodden. Tom Canton as Filavandrel, the last king of the elves. Mishia Simpson as Francesca Find-A-Bear, an elven sorceress. Kim Bodnia as Vesemir, the oldest living Witcher and Geralt's mentor and father figure. Theo James has a vocal cameo in Season 1 as a young Vesemir. He reprises his role in the animated prequel film The Witcher: Nightmare of the Wolf. Recurring. Jodie May as Queen Callanth, ruler of the Kingdom of Sintra and grandmother of Princess Cyrilla. Adam Levy as Mouse Sack, the court druid of Sintra and advisor to Queen Callanth. Bjorn Hlynur Haraldsson as King Estoyr Siege, husband to Queen Callanth and step-grandfather of Cyrilla. Lars Mikkelsen as Stregober, resident mage in the town of Blavikn and the rector of Ban Ard, the Academy for Male Mages. Therica Wilson Reed as Sabrina Glevissig, a sorceress who trained alongside Yennefer. Sean Dooley as King Foltest, the King of Temeria, whose incestuous relationship with his sister created a daughter. Terence Maynard as Artorius Vigo, court mage from Toussaint and uncle of Fringilla. Judith Fakit as Vaniel of Brugge, a sorceress, and one of the mages who fought during the Battle of Sodden Hill. Paul Bullion as Lambert, a witcher at Caer Morhen and friend of Geralt. Yazan Atur as Cone, a witcher at Caer Morhen and friend of Geralt. Annie Amarson as Voleth Meir, a demon who came to the plane with the conjunction of the spheres, who feeds on pain and fear. Graham McTavish as Sigismund Dijkstra, head of the Redanian intelligence and ally of Philippa Eilhart. McTavish also voiced Deglan in the animated prequel Nightmare of the Wolf. Ed Birch as Vizimir, the King of Redania. Chris Fulton as Rents, a renegade mage set on a hunt for Ciri. Aisha Fabienne Ross as Lydia van Bredevoort, Rents' liaison who gets him out of prison on her master's orders. Kane Zajas as Gage, Francesca's brother. Notable guest stars. Introduced in Season 1. Introduced in Season 2. Episodes. Season 1. The first season is based on The Last Wish and Sword of Destiny. A website with timelines for the show, along with in-depth summaries of events, was later created by Netflix. Season 2. The second season is based on A Grain of Truth from The Last Wish, Blood of Elves, and the beginning of Time of Contempt. Production. Development. Andrzej Sapkowski's The Witcher book series was initially scheduled to be adapted into a standalone Netflix film, but Kelly Loegenbiel, Vice President of International Originals at Netflix, dissuaded the producers. She recalled asking them, "How can you take 8 novels and just turn it into a film? There's so much material here." Through a number of conversations, the producers got really excited about the idea of using the source material for a longer-running series. In May 2017, Netflix announced the start of production on an English-language drama TV series based on the books. In December 2017, it was reported that Lauren Schmidt Hissrich would serve as showrunner on the show. In April 2018, Schmidt Hissrich revealed that the script for the pilot episode was finished, and the first season would be 8 episodes long. In 2017, it was reported that Andrzej Sapkowski would serve as a creative consultant on the show, but in January 2018, Sapkowski denied any direct involvement. However, he met with Schmidt Hissrich in April 2018 and in May 2018 she stated that Sapkowski was on the creative team of the project. In August, Andrew Laws was revealed as production designer. In December, Radio Times reported directors Alik Sakharov and Charlotte Brandstrom had joined the project. Netflix announced a second season on November 13, 2019, under the working title Mysterious Monsters, with production set to begin in London in early 2020, for a planned release in 2021. In April 2021, Netflix's CEO Chief Executive Officer and Chief Content Officer Ted Sarandos confirmed that the second season is expected to premiere in Q4 2021. In July 2021, it was announced that the second season would premiere on December 17, 2021. On September 25, 2021, Netflix announced that the series had been renewed for a third season. Writing. The first season was told in a nonlinear manner, spanning different time periods. Hissrich said this was inspired by Christopher Nolan's 2017 film Dunkirk. She pointed out that Yennefer's story covers around 70 years and Ciri's only about 2 weeks. Hissrich also said that Yennefer and Cirilla were given more prominence to allow the viewers to understand them better. By showing their backstories, along with Geralt's, we get down to the soul of the story. It's the story of a broken family. It's a story of three people who are on their own in the world, really orphans all living in the margins of society who are determined to not need anyone, and yet of course they do. Hissrich said the story for the second season will build on the foundations of the first season, becoming more focused. The characters will interact with each other more frequently. When I talk about The Witcher, I always talk about how these three characters coming together, Geralt, Ciri, and Yennefer, they come together as a family. It's the most important part of the series for me, Hissrich said. And when you start to imagine someone's family, you also need to understand their family of origin. For Geralt, it's his brothers, it's the Brotherhood of the Witchers. So I'm really excited to get back in and meet Vesemir, his father figure, for the first time, in all of these men that he was raised with since he was 7 years old. Casting. In September 2018, Netflix announced that Henry Cavill would play Geralt of Rivia. He was selected from more than 200 actors. Cavill actively campaigned for the role, being a longtime fan of the video game adaptations. In October 2018, Freya Allan and Anya Chalotra were cast as Princess Cyrilla and Yennefer of Vengerberg respectively, while Jodie May, Bjornhlynur Haraldsson, Adam Levy, Mayanna Buring, Mimi Ndewini, and Therica Wilson-Reed also joined. More casting was announced later that month, including Eamon Farren, Joey Beatty, Lars Mikkelsen, Royce Pearson, Maishij Mushal, Wilson Rajau Pujalt, and Anna Schaefer. In February 2020, Netflix announced Kim Bodnia had been cast as Vesemir, an experienced Witcher and a mentor to Geralt. Other additions included Christopher Hivju, Yasin Atur, Agnes Born, Paul Bullion, Thew Ersted Rasmussen, Aisha Fabienne Ross, and Mishia Simpson. In September 2020, it was announced that Basil Eidenbenz would replace Rasmussen in the role of Eskel. In November 2020, Rebecca Hansen was announced for the role of Queen Maeve. In March 2021, Kevin Doyle was cast as Balien, an original character who does not appear in the novels. Cassie Clare, Ajoa Ando, Liz Carr, Simon Callow, Graham McTavish, and Chris Fulton were cast as Philippa Eilhart, Nanique, Fen, Kodring Her, Dijkstra, and Rents, respectively. In April 2022, Robbie Amell, Meng Zhang, Hugh Skinner, and Crystal Elwyn joined the cast in the third season with recurring roles. In July 2022, Michalina Olszynska, Ryan Hayes, Kate Winter, Martin Ellis, Harvey Quinn, and Poppy Amond were cast. In October 2022, Netflix announced that Liam Hemsworth would be replacing Henry Cavill as Geralt of Rivia from the start of Season 4. Filming. In April 2018, Schmidt Hissrich revealed that the show would be filmed in Central and Eastern Europe. Principal photography for the first season began on October 31, 2018, in Hungary. Much of the series was filmed at Mafilm Studios near Budapest. The outdoor set included the exterior of Wizard Stragober's household. The hall in Sintra was constructed at Origo Studios on the outskirts of Budapest. Fort Monostor and the nearby forest was used for some exterior scenes in Sintra. The Battle of Marne Adal was filmed in the hills of a village in Hungary, Szakbarinai. The village that was Yennefer's original home was filmed at the Skansen Village Museum, an open-air site near Szentendre some 30 kilometers north of Budapest. This location was also used in scenes with Ciri in an area with a windmill. The production used the exteriors of Burg Kreudenstein, a castle near Leobendorf, Austria, for the abandoned fictional castle Vizima, but the interiors were filmed at Origo Studios. In March 2019, production commenced on Gran Canaria, in the Canary Islands, Spain. Some scenes were to be shot on the islands of La Palma and La Gomera, as well. Scenes of the Sorcerer's Aretuza Academy were shot on Roque de Santo Domingo in Garafia, an islet, and enhanced with CGI. The interiors, however, used for the graduation ball were at the Kisili Museum in Obuda. The museum was a monastery in the 18th century. This location was also used for the conclave of the Northern Mages. The Barangco de Fataga area on Gran Canaria Island was used for some scenes of arid landscapes. Scenes of Siri traveling in the desert were filmed in the natural dune reserve of Maspalomas on Gran Canaria. Most of episode 6 was filmed on La Palma Island. Filming of the first season concluded in Ogrodzienice Castle in Poland. The ruins of this medieval castle, dating from the 1300s, were the backdrop for scenes including the fictional Vilji forts of Rogveen and Tris Marigold. The ruins were also included when shooting the Battle of Sodden Hill in the final episode of Season 1. Filming for the first season wrapped in May 2019. Filming for the second season began in London in early 2020, but was halted for 2 weeks in March due to concerns over the COVID-19 pandemic and actor Christopher Hivju's confirmation that he tested positive for COVID-19. Then, in May 2020, film and television productions that were filming in the UK were given permission to resume filming, including Season 2 of The Witcher. The show resumed pre-production in July and officially resumed filming on August 12, 2020, with filming for the second season expected to extend into early 2021. On November 7, 2020, production was halted again after a number of crew members had tested positive for COVID-19. Production resumed 2 weeks later on November 24, 2020, and continued in December despite Cavill's on-set injury. Filming for the second season wrapped on April 2, 2021. Filming locations for the second season were all in the UK and included Cathedral Cave and Hodge Close Quarry in the Lake District, Low Force Waterfall in the North Pennines and Bournewood in Farnham. Filming for the third season began on April 4, 2022. It wrapped in September 2022. Music. Sonia Belousova and Jana Ostinelli composed the soundtrack for the first season. The duo collaborated with several soloists and artists. The soundtrack features many medieval instruments to match the medieval-inspired setting of the series. More of 60 different instruments from around the world were used to create the soundtrack. The original song Toss a Coin to Your Witcher, composed by Belousova and Ostinelli and sung by Beatty in the second episode, became a viral hit shortly after the series' release. Users have created mods to patch the song into the video game adaptations of The Witcher. All violin solos for the series were performed by Lindsay Deutsch. In October 2021, it was confirmed that Joseph Trapanese would be scoring the soundtrack for the second season. Trapanese, having previously collaborated with Netflix as the composer for Shadow and Bone, replaced Belousova and Ostinelli. Showrunner Lauren Schmidt Hissrich also revealed that new songs performed by Beatty would featured in the soundtrack. Marketing. Netflix released the first teaser for the series at San Diego Comic-Con on July 19, 2019. The first full trailer was revealed at Luca Comics and Games on October 31, 2019. Netflix released a final trailer on December 12, 2019. On October 29, 2021, Netflix released the official trailer for Season 2. Release. In April 2019, Netflix's Ted Sarandos told investors in an earnings call that the series would be released in late 2019. The series premiered on December 20, 2019. The second season premiered on December 17, 2021. The third season is set to premiere in mid-2023. Specials. On August 26, 2020, a making-of about the first season of the show titled Making the Witcher was released on Netflix. On September 2, 2020, the making-of series The Witcher, a look inside the episodes premiered on Netflix. With the release of the second season, Netflix released on December 17, 2021, Making the Witcher, Season 2, The Witcher Bestiary Season 1, Part 1, The Witcher Bestiary Season 1, Part 2, The Characters of the Continent, and The Witcher, Fireplace. Reception. Critical reception. Season 1. Season 2. Audience viewership. According to Parrot Analytics, The Witcher, in its US debut, was the third most in-demand original streaming series, behind Stranger Things and The Mandalorian. Parrot's process measures demand expressions, which is its globally standardized TV demand measurement unit that reflects the desire, engagement, and viewership of a series weighted by importance. On December 31, 2019, Parrot Analytics reported that The Witcher became the most in-demand TV series in the world, across all platforms. On December 30, 2019, Netflix issued a number of official lists, including the most popular TV shows of 2019. The series was among the most viewed in the US market, where The Witcher was ranked second among series. On January 21, 2020, Netflix announced that the first season had been viewed by over 76 million viewers on its service within its first month of release. Netflix had recently changed its viewership metric, from 70% of an episode under the previous metric, down to 2 minutes under the new metric. The new metric gives viewing figures 35% higher on average than the previous one. The 76 million views in its first month based on the new metric is the largest for a Netflix series launch since the introduction of the new viewership metric. The Witcher was, until the release of Bridgerton and Squid Game, Netflix's most watched original series launch at the time, with 541 million hours viewed in the first 28 days of release, and Season 2 achieved 484 million hours watched. Sales of The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt in December 2019 were 554% greater than those from December 2018. Attributed to renewed interest in the series due to the show.